Hello, welcome to the Dairy Digest. I'm Dr. Jackie Borman. In today's episode of the Purdue Dairy Digest, we will be discussing changes in corn silage that occur during ensiling. For anyone who is feeding cows, either their own cows or as a nutritionist, you know the importance of sampling ingredients, and especially forages, to determine their nutrient content. Book values for ingredients are not an accurate way to build a ration because they don't take into consideration growing conditions, hybrid selection, or harvest date. You may have experienced the importance of sampling and adjusting diets based on those results as you switch to new crop corn silage and see a drop in milk production. Today we are going to focus on what changes occur to corn silage during the ensiling process and when we should sample corn silage. As whole plant corn silage is harvested, respiration occurs, where plant sugars are converted to carbon dioxide, heat, and water. When the oxygen is depleted, anaerobic fermentation takes over, and fermentation acids like lactic and acetic acid are produced. These silage acids drop the pH of the silage and make it stable for long periods of time, provided that oxygen is not present. If we sample fresh corn silage, it will be higher in sugar, higher in dry matter, and will not contain any of the fermentation acids that ensiled corn silage will contain. Therefore, the energy content of the feedstuff may be estimated as higher for fresh versus fermented corn silage. Over time, ensiled corn silage will break down zein protein. This protein is surrounding and linked to the starch granule, and breaking down the protein will make the starch more available in the rumen. The total amount of starch does not change from the time that a plant is harvested in the field and when it is fed out. However, the percent of starch that is available to the microbes in the rumen increases. The breakdown of protein also increases the amount of ammonia nitrogen, and ammonia nitrogen can be used to determine how digestible that starch will be in the rumen. This difference in starch digestibility from just after harvest to 3 to 6 months ensiled usually is enough to account for 2 to 4 pounds of milk production. While starch digestibility improves as corn silage is ensiled longer, not much difference can be seen for fiber digestibility with longer ensiling times. In fact, some hemicellulose is consumed during the fermentation process, making the fiber digestibility a little lower for ensiled versus fresh corn silage. As a general rule, with properly stored silages, starch digestibility will improve the longer that silage is ensiled, and there will be very little change in fiber digestibility. Taking samples within a couple of weeks of feed out will give you the best indication of how cows will perform on this corn silage and accounts for all the changes that occur during the ensiling process. Tune in 2 weeks as we continue to discuss topics related to the dairy industry. Please subscribe to the Purdue Dairy Digest and share with your friends.